today's session started with God's name. So, Jai Jinendra. I am Aarchi Gandhi, and today the topic is think like an architect, not just a coder. So, any one of you know what do you mean by architect? Okay, I can see no hands. So, I guess this session will be very helpful for all of you because here you are going to learn what the architect does. Okay. So, I am Aarchi. I am SD3 at ServiceNow. I have around 5 years plus of tech industry experience, and I think these are the reasons why you have to listen the topic or discussion. So I have created comprehensive system design playlist on YouTube which is available for free. I have also worked with startups, mid-sized companies, service-based companies and product-based companies. Apart from that, I have the community of 250k plus developers, seniors and the people who are in the tech and all who want to learn about the tech. I am also a tech mentor and personal interview coach. Just in case if you are struggling in your career and have some kind of doubts, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Okay, so these are some of the topics that we are going to discuss. First of all is coders' responsibility. So how many of you are coders here? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, I can see a lot of people. Then second is we are going to discuss architect's responsibility. And as we know, there are no architects, but I guess some person was here a CEO, so he might be aware about the concepts. Third is how to be, what is the journey from coder to an architect. Here, architect is something which are present in your team, who are your team leads, who are managers, who are like product managers and every people. Fourth is we will understand it with a practical example. I don't believe in theoretical concepts. I just want everything in practical to understand the concepts better. Fifth is we will discuss about the importance of architect. Sixth is AI in architecture and then some resources. Okay, so let's begin. As so many of you are coders over here, so you might be relating with this particular picture. So first is what the coder actually do. They are going to, like if you are an intern, you will start learning some of the languages like C, C++, Java. Then you are going to discuss about like what should be the variable name, what should be the class name. After that, you will learn the DSA part. So you will do some sort of like lead code problem solving. Just in case if you are doing, you will understand what do you mean by data structures, algorithms and all sort of stuff. While solving the problem, you will think about the edge cases of the problem. Okay, so for example, if this is particular a problem, these are the number of requests that are coming. So you have to solve the problem according to that particular edge case. Then the unit test creation, utility library selection, query and loop optimization, everything, this is the what a coder actually do. After that, they are responsible for a feature development, a module development or a service development depending on the position you are having. For example, you could be an intern, SD1, SD2, SD3, some sort of that. So you will be assigned some of the tasks. Those tasks are the tickets, Jira tickets or any of the tickets or stories you can consider. So you have to put your code in that PR number and you will just make a request and your seniors are going to approve the PR. They will give you the review that okay, is this correct or not? Okay. After that, what are the tools a coder are going to use? Basically, you can see the IDE, it could be IntelliJ, it could be VS Code. Nowadays, people are just using the terminal and doing the coding because of the Claude. Then Git, GitHub, Postman, everything. Now, interesting part is what you need to learn to be a coder. So here, as you can see, first of all, you need to learn a language. which consists of like any of the language which is having the OOPS concepts especially. Then there are the principles and patterns. For example, solid principles, design patterns. Those are very useful while you are working in your company because those are proven, experimented principles which will, like save you from lots of errors and issues which are upcoming in your project. After that, you have to learn the frameworks, database basics, different types of databases, indexing, sharding, all the techniques, because without that, you can't grow your system. Then you have to make some designs, you have to, like practice creating APIs, you have to write the clean code, testing, and just merge your code in the pipeline. Okay, now let's talk about what is the mindset of the coder. First of all, they just think about like, okay, this is the particular task I got. Now, this is the code which I have written. Will it just fulfill the task, the requirement? So, they will just check, does this particular code will work or not? After that, once you decide that, okay, this particular code will work, you just discuss that, okay, is this code clean or not? That should be no reuse. I mean, there should be like reusing of the variables, methods, all sort of stuff. There should be no repeated code. After that, you will discuss about the intention, because sometimes what happens, once you create the solution of one particular task, you insert the bugs inside it. Bugs are the some unwanted problems which you really don't want, but because you have found solution of one particular problem, you have created 3 more, which is not correct. Then the fourth is that there are some of the test cases which you need to predefine and you have to work on it. So does this pass the test case or not? And then you have to just approach to your reviewer, and if they will approve your PR, then you just move on. Okay, so I just want everyone you to pay attention in this particular slide because no one of you knows what an architect's responsibility is. So first of all, they make the decisions like how the system should be. Now here you will be like confused what a system could be. There are different types of architectures depending on the number of users and the use case that how a system should be. It should be like monolith or microservices. Then the different types of database. Okay, I have just one question. What kind of database you are aware about? Can you just please name some? PostgreSQL, MySQL, MongoDB, MariaDB, okay. Now all of those are a relational DB or non-relational DB? Sorry? Okay. We are all aware about only 2 types of DB, that is SQL and NoSQL. Apart from that, there are so many DBs available. GraphDB, DocumentDB, then there is a Cassandra, which is a NoSQL DB. Cache is also part of a DB, which is like just in memory, but it's also storage, right? Another thing is like cap theorem. Anyone knows what is cap theorem? Okay. Cap theorem, the full form is consistency, availability and partition tolerant. All the system needs to choose what should be there. It should be highly consistent or it should be highly available. Now, you can think of, let me give you one simple example. The banking system that you are using, that is highly consistent. Why? Because there the money is involved and the people, for example, there is one account and there is a money inside it and 2 people are trying to see the amount, is it correct or not, like is it same or not. So that means the system needs to be highly consistent. Now every one of you are using Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. All of the application never goes down, right? Have you ever thought like, have you ever faced that any of the system goes down? Very rarely, and that is also for like few minutes or like just 1 or 2 hours. That means that is like highly available system. So those are the choices which an architect makes to make the system available or to be consistent. Next is synchronous versus asynchronous call. These are some of the API calls. They have to decide that is this particular call should be asynchronous or synchronous. Let's take an example. For example, if you are logging in Amazon to just purchase any order, so you are logging it, right? You get an OTP, you just put email ID password. That is an synchronous call because you are waiting for the API's response. After that, once you place the order, you get a notification, but you are not waiting for the notification. You are just moving to search to another products, right? So that particular notification part is an asynchronous call where the another next call is not depending on the previous call's response. Another important, these all are very important decisions which are being decided before you start writing a code. Next is message queue. Message queue, that is what we are going to discuss in the example. So I am skipping that part. After that, handling 10x traffic spikes. Okay. So here let's take an example. You all have built your college projects, right? So that particular project is not being used by so many people. And because of that, it is very easy to maintain. Now just think about like any application, for example, Blinkit, for example, Zomato, that is being used by so many people. And you are just getting response, the delivery in just 10 to 15 minutes. So you just understand like how much load will be there on the database as well as on the different services. So that is the choice, that is a part of like scalability which an architect decides that okay, after this I just have to do the rate limiting. If the queries exceeds more than 1000 users, I will just tell the user, please, it is a downtime, you can just try out later. Next is API contract definition, distributed data consistency. Everything I can't just cover in this particular session, but it is a very vast topic and very crucial. Okay, so let's discuss about what an architect is responsible for. Because as you all are coders, after some years, you are all going to be an architect. Not directly from the position, but in backend, you are going to work on this particular direction as well. First of all, you are responsible for is your system survival or not. Your entire system survival. Like for example, any one of you have tried to book the ticket of the train? Have you heard that? Like there were some of the people who have wrote the scripts and those were actually booking the tickets. Or your JEE paper is being leaked. Those are the things which is come under the part of this, like your system should be secure. And if your system is secure, then it is a part of like your survival of the system. Then the non-functional requirement, performance, reliability, scalability, security. Everything is very, very, very important. And I think you guys are just hearing some of the words for the first time. So you might be getting confused and you just think like, okay, these are some of the jargons. But the DDIA book of system design, if you will search, it is a Bible of system design. And all the architects are getting paid a lot more than the coders. Why? Because they have spent lots of experience in understanding this particular concepts. And in that particular book, you have a single chapter on this: performance, scalability, reliability. Next, long-term technical discussions. Now, decision, sorry. So here, why this particular thing is very important? Because first of all, they will decide, okay, this particular technology they are going to use. They are gonna make some of the changes. Okay, these are some of the business things that we are going to use. This is a particular DB that they are going to use, for example, MySQL. But what happens after 2 to 3 years? For example, your particular one of the product which you have just built today and it gets viral. Just think what is this particular application and why I am discussing about. So first of all, those people are some of belongs to from IITs and they started creating one simple application and they posted on LinkedIn and it got viral. If the application gets viral, there are lots of users who are going to use that particular application. Now, the thing is, they have to take care that their application doesn't get down. Basically, those are the things that particular is being discussed. I mean, the architect is responsible for. So what all tools they are going to use? They are going to use draw.io. They are going to use AWS, Kubernetes, Docker, Redis and everything. So what they need to learn? Basically, every one of you are going to learn this particular concepts, not today, but maybe in the future, if you are going to be in this particular industry. First is system design and distributed system. That is what we are going to discuss. Like, for example, how Zomato is working, how, for example, how Netflix is working. Then cap theorem, that we have just discussed. What is cap theorem? Basically, you can just choose 2 out of 3. Third is networking. Network is like different types of protocols that you are going to use. Two-way handshake, that is a TCP. Now, I was just meaning like what all different protocols would be there. For example, WebSocket, gRPC. Now, what is the difference between these all the protocols? Why we are actually discussing about it and why we are not aware about these particular protocols? Because these are being used by those applications which are very niche, and as of now you haven't been like able to work with them, and maybe you don't have that particular curiosity. So please try to build that particular curiosity. Now, WebSocket is being used by WhatsApp. That is a two-way communication, and that's why they are having very faster communication. You are getting responses within seconds, within milliseconds. Another thing is database internals, indexing, sharding, replication. Everything comes when the database scales. What do you mean by database scales? For example, if your application, here let's take an example of Amazon, as we were discussing about it. Lots of people are purchasing the item, they are creating the orders, and because of that, database actually gets lots of records per day. You can think of there would be like 10 millions, 20 millions of data are actually getting inside the database. Yeah, so basically indexing is used to get the records faster, and for that we are using Elasticsearch, for that we are using Solar. That is all what we are going to, as an architect, that is what they are going to use so that they can get the data faster. Next is cloud architecture patterns and framework, observability, everything. Now, why this thing is very important to discuss? Because lots of human resource is being involved, lots of money is being involved, and all the people are getting the, what I can say, sponsorship. I just can think of like they are getting the money from different people, and if they are getting loss, that means they have to pay back. That is not profitable. So that's why we are discussing all of these points. Basically, as all of you, most of you are the interns or SDE ones, you might be not be a part of this particular discussions going on, but you can ask your managers, okay, hey, I just wanted to understand this particular concept, can you please involve me in some of the meetings? Those people would be very happy to involve you guys, because those people will try that, okay, you are thinking in the direction, so you are more interested, let me give you the task behind it, and you will get your promotion faster, you will get a lot of knowledge, you will be able to think and solve the problems that you are facing on day-to-day life. Okay, so that's all about what they are going to learn, and it will require lots of experience, not just theoretical concepts. What's their mindset? Their mindset is, after taking all of these decisions, will their system will survive or not? And what will break at particular scale? Now, as you know, have you understood about the concept, like, sorry, one thing was very viral called Prashant, crossing. Are you aware? Can you please raise your hands if you are aware about it? Okay, good. So what happened was, like, one of the Instagram viral reel happened, and lots of people started calling croissant a Prashant. A Prashant is a human word, by the way. Because of that, what Zomato and Swiggy did, they actually changed the name of croissant with Prashant. If you will just type Prashant, you are getting the suggestion of croissant. Isn't it very smart thing? Like this particular Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, Zapto, they are just picking the trends. those all the things will like make an application very interesting, that okay, wow, Zomato have done this, Blinkit have done this. For example, if there is a this Valentine Day, if you have opened your Blinkit or Zepto, you were able to see the toggle button, right? Like if you are single, this is what for you. If you are committed, these are the flowers, these are suggestions. This concept is very, very important, because those all the changes are getting been deployed as fast as you can think of within just 1 week. So this all the things require lots of database decisions, lots of back processing, like what all protocols they are going to use, how the API will look like, and everything. So this is all the things which is been a mindset of the architect, like will this particular system will scale or not. Okay, what's the blast radius if this fails? Now, let's discuss about some normal things. For example, every state have different festivals. For example, here in the Ahmedabad, Garba is very famous, correct? So, Chanya Choli has been searched by only Gujarati people who are in the Gujarat, mostly. Yes or no? Okay, so that means that in this particular location, in this particular radius, that particular product is been very viral, or I can say very hot. So for that, to survive it, to survive all the particular requests, they are going to build lots of, I can say, they are just going to scale, horizontal scale in this particular region. They are going to put lot of servers here in this region. So that is the thing which, how we are able to see the trends. You all are aware about everything, but you are just not knowing the concepts which is running behind it. Okay. They have to do the trade-offs, that is the decisions they have to make, like consistency, availability, protocols, everything that we just discussed. After that, how will we know when something goes wrong? So what she answered, like how you are getting the alerts, basically you are setting some mechanism where if this particular request is going beyond, suppose 1000, then you are getting the alert that okay, your system here, your load balancer is not working. There's some issue in the cache. There is a particular this service ID which is breaking. So those things are going to be alerted, and that's what an architect have to decide ki where to put this particular monitoring system, which will monitor every call that is happening in the whole system. Next is, can a new developer understand and maintain this in 2 years? Why maintaining a code is very important? Why it is important? Because you are going to build something which should be optimized, because even to run that particular code, lots of RAM and ROM are being used. Lots of time is being consumed by the person, I mean the coder. Then another thing is, like this person said that in the future if another person is going to be a developer, they are going to read this your code, they are going to judge your code. Okay, oh, this guy have written this particular line, there is no necessary of writing this particular line, it should be just like one two syntax things. Another thing is like there is a very much cost being used to maintain that particular code. There is a lots of security, unit tests you have to write. All of these things are very, very like time consuming, costly, all of the things. Okay, so this is the very important slide for you, because most of you are going to uh, like start this particular journey or are a part of this journey. Not directly, but maybe indirectly. First of all, coder to architect, what is the journey? So here, let's take an example. There is a one person. Hi Jen. So are you an intern or software engineer? You are a student. In which year? Second. Are you a computer science student? Okay. So here, let's take an example of James. James, after suppose 2 years, you would be an intern in some of the big company, for example, Amazon or Google. Let's take an example. For you, suppose once you are an intern, now the question for you will be, like you have provided one task, you will think कि अरे मैं कैसे करूँगा ये सॉल्व. आप सोचोगे, आप अपने कलीग्स को पूछोगे, आप हेल्प लोगे AI का. That is the only thing which an intern can do. They are basically like dependent on some people And it's very obvious and it is very much expected. You are not expected to write a code in just like being in 1 month. This all the codes which you are able to see have taken lot of time, lot of years by the developers. And if you are a part of a new system, it will take time for you. So just accept that. After that, James, spending 1 year, you will be like got promoted to SD1. Then, yeah, round of applause for like James, you have promoted. So now the question would be, the second thought would be like after completing that particular piece of code, you will just think and you visit your previous code, like was this code correct or not? But now you have 1 year of experience, you have learned a lot of new things, and then you are able to find out mistakes from your previous code. So now you have improved your skills, right? After 1 more year, James got promoted to SD2. Okay? So now, James is able to think of and is able to understand different tasks which is been done by different colleagues. So he will just identify, okay, can you please tell me your name? Okay, then Nihar is the colleague of James and Nihar ने कुछ कोड लिखा. अभी जेम्स के पास तो बहुत एक्सपीरियंस है, निहार तो अभी ज्वाइन किया, तो जेम्स को तो पता है कि निहार का कोड गलत है, तो जेम्स विल पॉइंट आउट, उसको पता चल जाएगा कि नहीं ये वाला कोड है ना यहाँ पे फटेगा. सो दैट इज़ वॉट SD2, SD3 पीपल आर डूइंग. After that, some few years goes, James and Nihar both get promoted, and then they will decide like how does this team build this. Now you are the part of Amazon or Google, and you are very reliable source. You haven't switched, you are there like 5 years, and now a very important feature have been given to you कि आप दोनों ये वाला particular feature बनाइए. So now you have the power to choose who will be your new team members in this particular task. So can you please tell me the name of this particular guy? अंश. ठीक है, अभी अंश का निहार और जेम्स ने डिसाइड किया कि अंश ने बहुत अच्छे से कोड लिखा है, उसने बहुत अच्छे से PR वगैरह कमेंट किया है, सारे कोड उनके मर्ज हो गए एक ही बार में. सो यू बोथ विल डिसाइड कि आई विल टेक अंश इन दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट. So that is how a team is built. As of now, you all are having the like same experience, but this was an hypothetical scenario. So this is how a journey of intern to seniors are going to be built. After that, architect. Basically, this all James, Nihar, Ansh, all of the people are architect only because they are involved in the design choices. They are involved in the meetings. They are involved in different features that are going to be discussed. So उनको पता है कि ये वाला चीज़ अगर मैं ये बनाऊँगा तो यहाँ पे ये ब्रेक करेगा, ये स्केल नहीं कर पाएगी, ये API is wrong. So that's why you all are architect. It's not you are getting a title, but directly or indirectly you are involved in this process. Then there is an architect. आप architect बनने के बाद कोड नहीं करोगे वो possible नहीं है. कुछ लोग करते हैं, कुछ लोग नहीं करते हैं, depending on the company. So yeah, so now as you are having a lot of experience, after 15 years, 20 years, you will be like in a position where you will design the choices because आपके पास अभी इतना experience है, like in one project, 2 project. So you understand कि okay, this API will fail over here, this particular database is not a correct choice, and this cache is correct. There is no point of having the high availability, but we can have high consistency. So this was the concept, like how your journey will begin. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, like how many of you have tried to book a ticket, Tatkal train ticket? Or your parents have tried to book the ticket in Tatkal? Everyone? आपको टिकट मिला? नहीं, एजेंट के थ्रू करवाना पड़ा. ओके, सबसे पहले तो आप लॉग इन कर पाए क्या एप्लीकेशन? You will get lot of OTPs, you will get lot of like timeouts. आप सिस्टम में जाने के बाद पेमेंट देने like नंबर डालने के भी बाद you are just thrown out of your like that particular session. So आप लोग बहुत गुस्सा करते हो कि यार शिट मेरा टिकट बुक नहीं हुआ. आपको तो गुस्सा आता है कि क्या कर रही है ये लोग, क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे बना रहे हैं सिस्टम, क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. बट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड like why this is happening? Anyone knows why this is happening? Why you are not able to book the ticket in Tatkal? I will just give you an analogy behind why you are not able to book your Tatkal tickets. Okay, we will discuss about it in detail in the next slide. But I have asked another question to her that we are able to see like lots of posts on Instagram, but there are also like more like crores, trillions of users who are active. But in Tatkal there are only lakhs of users. तो फिर क्या दिक्कत है? Okay, now this is an analogy. In ICRTC, amount, the money has been involved, and there a particular one user should be allocated only one seat. There should be no that thing that two users should be allocated one single seat, because then the Indian people will fight that okay, why this is my seat, this is my seat. But that is incorrect, right? These are the two very important points that I have discussed. But now for Instagram, for WhatsApp, you are not able to see everything like within a seconds. But and over there money is not involved, and user are like just using it just for entertainment. So over there, this particular thing called consistency, it is called consistency for the ticket booking thing, where one particular seat has been allocated to only one particular user. That is called consistency. And for Instagram and all of the things which are highly available, there is no downtime. That is called availability. So, did you understand this particular concept which I just explained? Can you please raise your hand if you have understood this particular concept? Okay, good, good. Now you are in a journey of being an architect, so congratulations for that. Okay. So, now you will think ki there is a coder who have written the API and his code is working fine. But then what happens? Why it's not actually, you are not able to book the ticket? Let's start from this particular guy. Let's call him XYZ. This XYZ, he have got the particular developer जिसने बेचारे ने पूरी रात जग जग के कॉफ़ी पी के कोड लिखा है, ठीक है? और वो कोड दूसरे दिन चल भी रहा है नॉर्मल डेज में. I am not talking about Tatkal tickets or any random tickets. Let's imagine there are only less users who are trying to book the ticket and that code is working fine. After that, in the next day, Tatkal thing happened. That is a window. That is a like one particular hour where millions of, here I have written, 1 million of records, 1 million of users try to log in at the same time. अभी कोड तो सही लिखा था उसने XYZ ने, बट अभी ब्रेक कैसे हो गया? बिकॉज यहाँ पे जो सर्वर पे लोड आ रहा है उसके वजह से ये जो DB है उसके पास बहुत सारे रिक्वेस्ट आ रहे हैं. अभी आप क्या करोगे? आपको तो अभी वाइट स्क्रीन दिख रहा है, यू आर इमीडिएटली सीइंग वाइट स्क्रीन और यू आर जस्ट लॉग्ड आउट, राइट? आफ्टर दैट यू विल प्रेस द रिफ्रेश बटन. अगेन व्हाट हैपन्स? नेक्स्ट रिक्वेस्ट विल गो इन फ्रंट ऑफ डेटाबेस. इन द लास्ट box you are able to see that in front of database there are lots of requests. Those requests are some of the people जिन्होंने अभी तक refresh press नहीं किया है, किसी ने refresh press कर लिया है. So this is how it will look like. Okay, now you are going to understand why you are not able to actually book the ticket. This is the system high level diagram of railway ICRTC. ठीक है, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड वेरी, मतलब डिटेल में नहीं जाते, ऊपर ऊपर से समझते हैं, बिकॉज टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वी रिक्वायर लॉट ऑफ सेशंस. ओके, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द टॉप देर आर 8 to 10 lakh users. You can think of this green shirt guy. Can you please tell me your name? Yeah, Smith said that वहाँ पे बहुत सारे रिक्वेस्ट आता है. There are 8 to 10 lakh users who are trying to book the tickets. What do you mean by load balancer? Any one of you just think of the word and answer the question.
If some X number of requests are coming on particular server, then it basically divides the request on multiple servers.
Correct. Can you please give a round of applause for her? What is your name? Homashvi, you are thinking like an architect. So congratulations for that. So now load balancer is being used to divide the request in among multiple servers. There are different types of algorithms used for it. Let's not get in detail of it. After that, then the particular request is been passed on to API gateway rate limiter. Anyone of you know what do you mean by rate limiter? Let's wait for some other person. Rate limiter. That is a correct definition of rate limiting. Rate limiting means at particular time these are the only requests that is going to be passed on via this particular server. What is API gateway? API gateway is being used for like routing the APIs. Basically there is a combination of rate limiter and API gateway. So you can just think of like when you press the button of like booking the ticket, आप अभी तक अंदर सिस्टम के पहुँचे नहीं हो, आपने अभी तक लॉग इन नहीं किया है, there is only request which is going to be transferred to the server. After that, suppose you let's imagine there are 8 to 10 lakh users जहाँ पे सारी की सारी request is been divided among the servers, load balancers, and then it is been passed on via API gateway and rate limiter. सर्वर के ऊपर भी हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं उस पर्टिकुलर सेकेंड में, वो सर्वर will only serve to suppose 10 to 15 users. We are just giving a guess over here. After that, now this comes as an authorization part कि आप यहाँ पे OTP और authorize कर रहे हो. This is the part where people usually gets a captcha, where your captcha gets wrong, your OTP gets wrong and you are not getting entered of it. Sometimes what happens is it depends on the system to system. Some systems gives you an error that okay there are so many users you can't just go inside it, but sometimes what happens they doesn't show you. But now you know the analogy. Now another thing is if you do a inspect thing and go into networking, you can get the different status of your request. So basically from there over like you can find out that is a server error, it is some issue from the your whatever parameters you are passing. So that is the one thing. Okay. After that, suppose let's imagine your OTP gets correct, you are able to put correct captcha, then you are going inside the booking service. Booking service, basically what happens in the booking? What a user enters, source, destination, time, number of tickets they want to book, right? So those all the information that is getting be stored in some in-memory cache. And now another thing is like before you there would be lot of users who are already inside this particular application who are trying to book the tickets, and there are again lot of users who are before those middle users and they have actually got the seats. So now you are put it in a pipeline. You can just think of a queue. Inside that your all the requests are sitting one after another in a proper sequential manner. You get a token number, right? आपको पता चल जाता है कि मेरा अभी टोकन नंबर ये है तो मुझे शायद 1-2 दिन के बाद मिल सकता है, नहीं मिल सकता है. Some people will cancel their particular seats and you are going to be forwarded to the next seat, right? Next your token number will get increased. So that is the thing which is happening. First in first out queue. अगर आप रिक्वेस्ट में उस क्यू में पहली बार एंटर हुए तो यू विल गेट द टिकट इन द फर्स्ट गो. बट नाउ इफ़ यू आर द पर्सन जो 1000 यूजर्स के बाद आया तो नाउ योर टोकन नंबर इज़ 1000. दैट इज़ व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज़ हैपनिंग. नाउ द आंसर ऑफ योर क्वेश्चन. Okay, let's complete this and then we can discuss about it. Now again, suppose there is a request at the same time. Suppose 2 users are trying to book the same particular seat. What happens? Basically this is what happens. You are getting very few seconds to complete your payment because they are not going to wait कि भाई जल्दी complete करो आपका payment because दूसरा user तो बैठा हुआ है ना. Let's give him a try. Let's give him a chance. Okay, for even let's go in deeper of it. How this locking is happening, how this thing is happening, how you are getting like this. Nilkhand have said that there's a timeout. So what is happening behind that? There are some of the locks which is going to be used and placed on that particular seat. For that we are using 2 types of lock, optimistic and pessimistic lock. We are not getting in detail of it. Let's just understand from the upper se. This particular lock is like for memory and for your database row of that particular seat table. For that, now as he said that there would be a timeout. So हम क्या करते हैं, हम उस कैश में हम उस particular DB के रो पे सिर्फ 5 सेकेंड का लॉक लगाते हैं, 10 सेकेंड का लॉक लगाते हैं and we will allow that user to book the ticket. After that, if he is not able to book it, we just remove the lock and we will allow the next token number to just make the payment. This is what is the analogy. Guys, you are understanding what I am trying to say? Have you like any issues? Are you able to understand, relate your experience? Can you please give me, like, raise your hand if you are able to understand? Lots of user, lots of people. I just love this. Okay. Now, these are the locks which are being used. Payment system, payment gateway is there. We are using third-party payment gateway. And after that, all of the things which are happening on the payment. Suppose you didn't got your seat, but your transaction got been like you debited, right? So you get the refund, correct? That is what is happening in the last box. Okay. After that, I just want to say that most important part of any system is the database. It's the database what you are going to use, because there are different types of database. Here we are using MySQL, because MySQL is having the capability of ACID properties. It is like here we can do different types of joins. We can perform different type of queries. We are having different type of columns, and because of that we are using it over here. You can think of like how many trains are there. We can just think of 3.5 lakh trains which are running, for example, and 3.5 lakh trains, there would be like some seats inside it. One train would be having suppose 1000 seats, let's take an example. After that, in that particular train there would be different destination. That particular destination will be like from source and destination. So we will be storing the user's data, we will be storing the source destination location, train ID, payment source, payment ID. We are also storing the time date. Everything is being stored in the DB. So we have to think of what kind of DB is very important and necessary. Also, when you're logging it, are you able to see previous transactions you have made, previous tickets you have been like booked? Yes. You are able to see the previous Zomato orders in your application? Yes? Yes? So all the data that you are going to perform, everything is being stored in the DB. Now, the database storage is like, the data is not getting be deleted, right? So there, to like that particular data that should be not been deleted, we are replicating those data into different particular database. You can think of there could be replicas. What do you mean by replicas? Now you understood, like we are just repeating those particular orders in the different database, right? Understood everyone? Can you please give me yes? Okay. So that is why it is important, because जो भी आपका information है, आपका data है, वो delete नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर आपका एक डेटाबेस क्रैश हो गया, दूसरे डेटाबेस में से आप एक बारी वो डेटा लेके यूज़र को फैच करवा के दे सकते हो. And you can think of every system that application which is in your phone, WhatsApp, Facebook, then Book My Show, then there are chess, different application, and all the matches you have, like as an example of chess, all the matches have you performed, all the data is been stored. There are multiple replicas of the DB, and that's why the storage is very important, and everything is not free. To store the database, have you heard about that Amazon server? So Amazon server, data lake, have you heard about data lake? So data lake is a collection of all the servers, and for that, to store all the data inside it, it is very important, very costly. So that's why the choice of DB is very important, and that's why architect is getting paid more compared to a coder. Okay. Now another thing is notification service. Everyone knows about it, so I am just moving to the next part. Okay, we have discussed a lot about architecture. We have discussed a lot about what is like architect is been thinking behind it. Why it is very important to be thinking like an architect? Can you please answer me? Anyone? You have learned a lot of things, so can you please give a guess why it is very important to think like an architect? Yes. To get a better product, yes.
To know what is actually going on, so we can have better ideas.
Exactly, yes, yes. To build a scalable product, yes. Anyone from back? Yes, yes. to understand what is going to happen and what is happening behind this all the systems that we are using on day to day life. And the money is involved, also the learning is involved, user experience is involved, your data is involved, and data, like your data is very crucial information, and to store it, to use it correctly, this all the choices, and there are a lot of things which has been used, which are very important to think like an architect. But all of these answers are being given by you, so can you please clap for yourself, like. Okay, AI in architecture, we all have heard about AI. Now, how an architect, like having an experience, can think like, can use the AI? Basically, AI is being used. You can have different type of scenarios. You can just give the high level design to this particular AI. AI will return you the result. What would be the bottleneck? Bottleneck means like what will break, what will get a lot of requests and it will go down. Everything is being given by the AI. It will suggest you that, okay, don't use this particular thing, use this. So you can judge it. That's why AI is very important. Everyone knows like how to give the prompts, how to get the results. Everyone are like using it on day-to-day basis life. So that is the very important. And here, because the goal of the session was never to make you a better coder, it was to make you think like an architect. And now you have a tool that thinks like you. Okay, some interesting points. I have discussed a lot of things within just 5 years of experience. Why? Because I was very much interested, I was very curious कि भाई मेरा ये order place क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, मुझे notification क्यों नहीं आ रही है, मेरी ticket book क्यों नहीं हो रही है, and to go at the next level. For that, I am very much interested in this, so that's why I am learning these concepts. Apart from this, if you want to learn it, these are some of the resources. For HLD, to think like an architect, this is the particular beast of the book, this is a Bible of the book, that is a DDIA book of the system design. Second book is design patterns. This is for the coders. All the people over here are going to be better coder. Not today, but tomorrow. And for that, to enhance your work, to enhance your job responsibilities, you have to learn these patterns. So I will prefer you can read this book. Everything is available online. Next is the playlist which I have created on YouTube, which is free, just in case if you are not a like reader person, you are just like want to grab the knowledge from the YouTube. I have covered up to chapter number 8, and next upcoming chapters are going to be uploaded soon. So just in case if you want to understand and to get into your next level, next architecture level, this is very important. Okay, these are some of the golden words. Can any one of you please read these words? This is what it means, because now you are able to code because of the Claude, because of ChatGPT. But how efficiently you are coding, how efficiently you are able to think कि ये वाला code आगे जाके नहीं चलेगा. It means there are 90% of among us who are coders, and only 10% of the. I hope I have given you that much curiosity that you will like actually think कि how this is working. So you will be a part of 10% people. Exactly. This is the most important point, because we always get very, like much pride that, okay, I have written 10,000 lines of code and I have written 20,000 lines of code. But to be honest, if there is one another person who can do it in much like lesser lines, that person would be a better person, better coder. And to get even more next level, you have to think that, okay, what would be the next things which are being used. So for that you will make more money, obviously. Exactly. So that is like always the curiosity, thought process, everything which is behind a work. So yeah, that's the golden words, and thank you. Any one of you have any doubts related to your career, related to system design, related to DSA, how to get a job, resume, everything, you can just ping me on LinkedIn, maybe on Insta, on Twitter. Yeah, thank you.